Welcome to the Voice Summit. We're coming to you from the campus of NJIT in beautiful Brick City, Newark, New Jersey. This is the Voice Summit number 2. This is the biggest voice summit in the world. No, I'm not exaggerating. It's not hyperbole, it's true. And one of the guests that's joining us to break a lot of what's going on here down is Cathy Pearl, head of conversation design outreach at a little company called Google, and author of the book, Designing Voice User Interfaces. How you doing?
I'm good, glad to be here.
Because
this is the world's biggest voice summit, and so much of it is about seeing people maybe I've met online or talking to people who are doing interesting things in the field, really getting that energy of how people are applying this technology to the future.
Google cares because of?
Well, you know, our mission statement is about making the world's information accessible to everyone, and voice is one channel for making that happen.
You know, we were talking right before we got on the air, and the whole question of people that have certain challenges, impairments, and you, at one point you said that we all have impairments at some point, but the question of making voice technology more inclusive.
Yeah, I mean, to me, voice, first of all, is really great for people who really need it the most, which could be people who have visual impairments, motor impairments, cognitive impairments. But I don't want us to think of that as like just designing for certain groups of people with certain things. It's really about inclusive design, which is about all of us, because all of us have impairments, situational impairments from time to time, whether it's because I'm walking inside carrying groceries and I can't use my hands briefly, I don't have my reading glasses and I want to see the text message on my phone, or what if I fall and break my arm or have a stroke? This is really about designing for everyone.
But how do you design for everyone, and are there those in the voice arena who don't design for everyone and design for a, frankly, more niche market that they feel may be more profitable?
Well, I mean, it's certainly not simple to design for as many people as you possibly can.
If it were simple, everybody would do it.
Yeah, it takes
right?
more time, more planning, more testing, and you just have to, really broaden your user base. But to me, it's just something to strive for, because what could be better than enabling everyone to take advantage of this technology?
You know, this Voice Summit being here in Newark and at NJIT, we've said it many times, it's a big deal for the city, for this university, for the state of New Jersey. Your experience in this field, did you have a sense of Newark and a sense of New Jersey in the voice arena before you started coming here?
Last year was really kind of the main time when I really...
The Voice Summit was here as well last year.
It was here last year.
But this is different, bigger, broader, more expansive?
This one's bigger,
Yeah.
But even last year was pretty big, and it really opened my eyes to a lot of the stuff that's going on in Newark that I certainly wasn't aware of before, and this one even more so.
Your book, Designing Voice User Interfaces, why did you write it? It came out in 2016?
End of 2016.
What's the main message?
The main message is really, I wanted it to be a practical how-to guide, because so many people now are trying their hand at building these voice user interfaces, and it's not simple. You really have to spend time on not just coding and marketing, but design. And so for me...
Define design. Because there are a lot of people watching right now, listening right now, if you're on the audio side, like, oh yeah, design. I actually don't know exactly what it means. I know what the end product looks like or doesn't look like in terms of how easy it is to use or how accessible it is. But what is design? Design
is really taking into account, in this case, how people are going to want to interact and what they're going to say and in what order they're going to say it. I'll give you an example. Let's say you're booking a table at a restaurant, and the voice assistant asks you, well, how many people are in your party? Now, you're expecting a number, right? You think it's pretty straightforward. But somebody might say, well, do you have any outdoor seating? Which is a perfectly legitimate question. But a lot of people don't consider it who are building these systems, and then whoops, you've got an error, your user is frustrated, they failed to accomplish what they want. So that's the kind of thing we think about when we're designing, how are people actually going to speak?
Let me give you a real life example. Tell me if I'm off base. I'm calling a particular pharmacy who will remain nameless because it wasn't a great voice experience. They literally announced, we've recently changed our, whatever the heck they called it.
Our menu options have changed.
Thank you, so you know the message.
I used to work on those.
So here's the thing. I did have a question I didn't want to have another prescription. I wanted to ask a certain question. I got pressed pretty hard as to the nature of the question before I even got to someone, because once I just said I wanted to talk to a pharmacist, I was in a loop that felt like I couldn't get out of. Am I making too much of that?
No, that's one thing that's frustrating for so many people. That is not good design. That's the kind
That's
of
design, though. A form of design.
It's a form of design which is putting business needs before user experience.
It's not about me, it's about them.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Good design would allow you to get what you needed, which sometimes is automated and sometimes it's through a person, and we want you to get what you want, not force you down a particular path.
So the idea that someone watching, someone following the Voice Summit, the voice technology field, reading about it, wanting to know more about it, wanting to go into it, thinks, okay, so we're talking about replacing human communication because it's easier and faster. You don't buy that.
Not at all. Because again, there's some things I want to do on my own, on my phone or with my voice, and I don't want to talk to a person. But then there are key times when I have a specific problem that I really do want to talk to a person. Much more nuanced, yes, exactly.
Is it harder to write programming for a nuanced issue or question?
Absolutely. I mean, you think about something like an app or a website. When somebody presses a button or swipes, you know what they did. You know what they selected. But if you ask them a question like, even a yes-no question, like, do you like cheese? They're not just going to say yes or no. They're going to say, sure I do, or heck no, except cheddar, or something like that.
But aren't there different kinds of cheese? I'm not going to make it about food or going to the pharmacy. But there are more precise questions we need to get to, because it isn't just whether you like cheese.
Right. You have very specific questions, and we need to get better at allowing someone to actually express themselves in a natural way. That's the beauty of conversation design, if done right, is that it allows somebody to just speak the way they would naturally and not have to think about it and still be able to satisfy what they need.
By the way, if you're just checking out this conversation with Cathy Pearl, who is with Google, let me ask you this. Final question. The future of voice in the next 5 to 10 years. And by the way, are those the right numbers to ask about, 5 to 10 years? Is that too far out?
I think, it doesn't matter how many years, nobody really knows the future.
Really?
So lots of people will give you answers, but nobody really knows. Personally, my answer to that is that it will become more common. You'll find it more places in your life. I think also my optimistic view is that it will replace some of our screen time, because you can just dip in and get what you want and not have to get sucked into scrolling through your social media or checking your email, because you just got the thing you wanted and you got out again, and it allows us to look up from our phones and actually look at each other.
I don't know about you, but I just learned, I think I do know, you learned a lot, because I did as well, from Cathy Pearl, Head of Conversation Design Outreach at Google and author of the book, Designing Voice User Interfaces. Cathy, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me on.
I'm Steve Adubato. This is the Voice Summit #2 at NJIT, coming to you from Brick City, Newark, New Jersey. We'll be right back right after this.
Think Tank with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 30 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of Think Tank with Steve Adubato has been provided by RWJ Barnabas Health, PSE&G, the New Jersey Economic Development Authority, the Northward Center, New Jersey Sharing Network, the New Jersey Education Association, and by Wells Fargo. Promotional support provided by Insider NJ, and by New Jersey Monthly. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.